Never mind. All right, let's do that. Clap real quick. This is Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. Here we go. And one, two, three. Great. Okay. This is Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. With me today is Hans, who is talking about considering joining TikTok.
hmm Yeah, look for me doing all those dances with my wife, even though I can't dance. I'm
Can we
completely
see your
rhythm's.
Fortnite dance? What's the?
Oh,
Go
it's
ahead, try it
terrible.
out.
I don't even know what that is. Is it
Just do your
this?
best.
I don't,
I don't think it's that.
I don't know.
I think
Is
that is
it?
actually the
Is
that's
just
the hokey pokey. I'm
what
fairly
is it? You
certain
rub your belly and your head on the same. I don't know. I'm
that's
an
what it's
old
all about.
man. I'm an old man. I don't know, but yeah. Uh, I'm the type of dancer that can't move his arms if he's moving his legs. Like because I'm Latin American, my mom has tried to teach me how to dance for like 30 years, and every time I'm like I can't move my legs if I'm moving my arms. So it's
Mm.
either the top or bottom. So I'm very whitewashed when it comes to that. Latin rhythms are not my friends.
No, it's very unfortunate. Maybe you just gotta watch Dirty Dancing Havana Nights.
Yeah.
Have you
Who's
tried that?
starring? Who stars in that?
Diego Luna.
Right. That's racist, you fuck.
I'm pretty sure he does. I think he does. It's one of those Hispanic guys from E2 Mama Tambien. Maybe it's the other one. Maybe it's the less famous one. Anyway,
Oh, it
we're
is
talking
Diego
about.
Luna. Holy
Aha!
shit.
See, you
What the
just accused
fuck?
me of a career-ending uh, uh, position, and I
What
was
the fuck?
correct.
I thought didn't Diego Luna do like Star Wars and shit? What was he doing to this thing? Oh, 2004.
Uh,
All right.
it
All
was
right,
yes, it
that's
was
from
right after. It was like his U.S. debut, probably.
well, it was right
So,
before Mr. Lonely, which you're a huge fan of, right?
well, I have not actually watched that movie, so I can't really play along and say, "Oh yeah, I love that." If it's a piece of shit, I've actually heard good things about Mr. Lonely, but I don't have much of a taste for Harmony Korine between, we'll say, right after Gummo to Trash Humpers, maybe.
Right. So his real movies.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I mean, Trash. I mean, you could make the argument Trash Humpers is not a real movie, sure, but it's not. I threw it on just out of the blue because I was in the mood for Harmony Korine, and I think I had just watched The Beach Bum in theaters, and that was pretty good. It wasn't as good as Spring Breakers, but that's fine. And it turned out to be a whole lot better than I was expecting it to be. So
Is there a plot to it?
not exactly.
Okay.
There's not a plot. Like there's a seemingly linear motion to what the characters are up to, but I wouldn't call it a plot necessarily.
Okay. Is there dialogue? Can they talk through those masks?
If I and now it's been 3 years. That was
Okay.
2018. I want to say there is dialogue though,
Okay.
although limited.
Well, we're working on an episode on him and Larry Clark, right? Coming up soon, maybe.
Yes,
Where I'm gonna have to watch all that stuff that I'm
a
not a
fan
huge fan
favorite
of.
of the children is Larry Clark.
Yeah,
Children love Larry Clark.
yeah. Larry Clark loves horny children. I think that would be
He
more
loves
accurate.
diseased children, especially. I don't. That seems to be a recurring trend. Is children with problems.
Right. Yeah. Inner city horny children that have AIDS.
Not even necessarily inner city. Well, I mean, yes, that's all correct. But he does decide to branch out into the suburbs, and there's some weird moments galore in movies like Ken Park, where the dad is like, he's got kind of a rivalry with his son, and then he gets drunk one night and tries to suck him off. Your dad
Yeah.
ever try to drunkenly suck you off in bed?
No, my dad's like me. When we get drunk, we cry. we just we
That
just
sounds a
cry
lot
about
better.
he cries about like past failures. That's me and my dad. No, I mean I prefer to watch my dad cry than watch him try to suck me off. So I guess it's a good thing.
Your dad never climbed into bed with you and said and started pulling your boxers down and said, "Hey, it's relax. It's just me, Dad."
No,
Oh, he's trying to
no,
fit your dong in his mouth.
no.
Oh,
No.
Well, that's probably good. It means you have a
Jesus
healthy
fuck.
relationship.
Can you imagine? Oh Jesus. Goddamn. No. That's
Hey,
never no.
it's just me. It's Dad. Oh, that makes me feel better about this.
This is a new
God.
version of coddling. Let me just show you my love.
Let me show you
Oof.
my 5 o'clock shadow, my dry lips, scent of beer on my chin. That's
Let me
nice.
just breathe
Hey,
all let me breathe all my breath on your balls. Yeah, that sounds good. No. No. That's not happened.
good. Good. Let's leave it at that. Hey, but speaking of disturbed children, children with problems, tonight we're talking about the 2000 film, a classic
Yes.
of
Yep.
Japanese cinema, of world cinema, Battle Royale. How about
Right.
that? We finally got to Battle Royale. I don't even know what episode this is because if we go by YouTube, it's probably one number episode. If we go by Spotify, it's a totally different number of episode. But this is going to be, well, let's say this is the Would you say that Battle Royale is a horror movie?
Uh I don't think so. There's nothing scary really other than like reality, I guess, and what you would do to survive. Even though uh, after rewatching it today, it was definitely much cornier than I remember.
Hmm.
There's a lot of the typical, Asian movie tropes of things are kind of emotional, even though, it's not really supposed to be, and at times it's just a little corny, especially after watching the second one, which is absolute shit. Um, I still liked it. I completely forgot about like just slow moments where they're just very naive and very like, oh, you're the bad guy. You're one of the bad people in the movie, so I'm just gonna be your friend. And here's my taser. I wonder what you're gonna do with that taser. And then she gets fucking killed.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's still. I think it's a one of those movies that is been imitated a lot, but no one's brave enough to go as far as the movie goes when it comes to violence and when it comes to, I guess, teenage like visual visceral violence as it happens here. Uh, like Hunger Games is like a copy of it, but it's like a PG version of it with like hot white people. Um, but yeah, it's fine. You didn't see the second one, right?
I've seen the second one a few times, but it has always been extremely difficult for me to maintain my attention
Yeah.
on it because it is just so different from that first movie tonally, and I think they made a gigantic misstep in changing the whole format of the game and trying to
Yeah.
make it about the surviving characters from this one. I think it's look. I think it takes a big swing with what it does and what its messaging is, and I don't dislike that necessarily. But I think it fails as a film. It certainly fails as a sequel to a great film like Battle Royale. To the corniness that you're mentioning with the characters, it does feel very Japanese teen drama at times, but I
Yeah.
think that's also intentional, where these characters are. I mean, many of them are anyway, as two dimensional as possible, and their hangups are very of the era.
Mhm.
I think specifically teenage hangups, not dissimilar to maybe a more cartoonified version of what you'd see on My So-Called Life or any show like that in America in the 90s, or Dawson's Creek actually might be a better example. My So-Called Life was like the dark version of
Yeah.
those WB shows for that period of time.
Wait,
So,
was that a dark show? I
yeah,
was too old.
they dealt with more. You were too old for My So-Called Life.
I think so. Yeah. When
Oh
we got it
fuck.
here. I
Okay, well
think
maybe
we
you guys got it a couple years late because that ended in like
yeah.
'93 or '94.
It ended in 95. I was 9 years old. But we get everything like 10 years after. So I don't even remember that seeing that show.
I only
Um
remember that show because my health teacher in middle school played us an episode of My So-Called Life. She played the pilot with Angela and Jared Leto and this and that. And then she played an episode, I think, with Ricky getting kicked out of the house. And Ricky was the gay, feminine guy, the black guy who was also in Rent. And I'm not even really sure what the health lesson was there because they didn't deal with AIDS or anything. I think there was an AIDS scare at some point, but not on that episode. So that, I mean, My So-Called Life would deal with things like my mom has a bipolar disorder and she's jealous of me, and the husband is sleeping with somebody else, and I'm an outsider. I have to dye my hair purple this month, and my best friend is a gay guy, and my other best friend is a Christian virgin I can't relate to anymore. It dealt with like more relatable shit, I think, to the average teenager in 1994 than Dawson's
Yeah.
Creek, which was like, I live on my dad's ranch and I'm so pretty, but I got these two girls. I can't decide which one I want. Joshua Jackson, who's a chubby faced little cutie, is trying to get my business and take Katie Holmes off my hands, but I kind of like her more. What do I
Right.
do?
You got James Van Der Beek, right? He's in that
Yeah,
show.
who's James Vanderbeek?
I never like that was when I was in my early teens, I guess, when those shows came out, and I never really cared. The only one I liked was I think it was Party of Five, but because Jennifer Love Hewitt would show her titties sometimes, like on cleavage, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I think that's the one. But I was always into just like comedy, of the time, never into anything dramatic or anything like that. So I guess that's why I wasn't exposed to it. Like Degrassi, why? Like I guess
watched
the
Degrassi. Listen,
no.
I watched later. Hold on, there's different eras of Degrassi. So there's the Canadian Degrassi
Right.
that was in the 80s, and then they had Degrassi. I think it was called Degrassi: The Next Generation, which was my period of time,
Right.
and they played that on Noggin. I think it was Noggin, or it was some offshoot of the Nickelodeon network that was meant for
Teens.
teenagers my age,
Okay.
and that was a little more My So-Called Life than Dawson's Creek or anything like that, because you had the teenagers actually dealing with pretty real shit, but it was always completely ridiculously done. So it'd be like, oh, Paige is anorexic this week, but her best friend Liberty, who's a nerd, is actually a slut and she's pregnant now. It was just over the top. And oh, Spencer is he's a fat goth guy and he's starting to cut himself, and someone's got bipolar disorder. Craig has bipolar disorder. He's off his meds. He's foaming at the mouth.
I just googled nogging because I'm not familiar with that. It's a programming blog.
Nogging. It's nogging.
Yeah.
Nogging. He was
Noggin,
chugging
sorry.
eggnog.
Yeah,
Cute.
the N was a nighttime programming block, and the logo, it's a black hand with an N in the middle.
Ahead of their time. Netflix just stole that. The Netflix
Right.
N, the dreaded N. Yes,
Well,
the
let's see.
N was good.
I don't really recognize any of these shows. A Walk in Your Shoes, Big Kids, Best Friends Date, Girls versus Boy, LOL with the N. LOL with the N, which is that that Patrice O'Neill show where he just criticize online videos. You got Miracle Boys, O'Grady out there, Real Axis in the N, South of Nowhere, and Spunk. Don't even,
Spunk.
I don't know. But then you got let's see, Brady Bunch, Clueless, Daria, Dawson's Creek, Degrassi, Next Generation, Degrassi Junior High, A Different World, Fresh Prince, The Hills. Yeah, so I guess it was more aimed to teenagers, right? When it's like, oh, you can't watch cartoons, you're 13. That's too old for cartoons, right?
Right. So it was definitely meant for teenagers during that time. And all those titles sound familiar. I couldn't place a fragment of an image to what any of them were. So Degrassi is the only one that stuck out in my head. And you know who appeared on Degrassi?
Drake.
Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith
Oh.
appeared on Degrassi. Yeah, well, Drake did too. Drake got shot up in the school shooting by the creepy guy who's into fat girls.
Didn't Kevin Smith do a Jay and Silent Bob thing for Degrassi?
Yes.
That's
So-
embarrassing.
He decided to do an episode where it was going to be Jay and Silent Bob are going to have their movie shot at Degrassi Junior High, and then
Ugh.
he just winds up doing. He kind of did the same thing with the Flash, where it was like it was supposed to be a one-off, and then he gets a little too hung up on everything and sticks around for too long. And I remember they released like uh,
Mhm.
his string of episodes onto DVD
I
shortly
remember
thereafter
that.
because he did like 5 episodes or something like that,
Yeah.
whatever constituted almost a feature film. Ridiculous.
I remember in Canada that was huge when I was living there. They released like the DVD, like the Kevin Smith episodes or whatever. And I liked Kevin Smith at that time, but even then I couldn't bring myself to watch that show because I was like 21. Oh,
Yeah, I was getting pretty long in the tooth myself. I
yeah.
was still tuning in to see what Paige and Liberty and whatever, I don't know, all those kids were up to because it was all right. What else was there to watch? It was the closest thing I could understand uh, to the appeal of something like a Beverly Hills 90210, which all my female cousins would tune into in the early 90s. So,
Right. I don't know. Baywatch.
nah, I won't even watch Baywatch now. That has no appeal to me. You see hunk David Hasselhoff running down the beach, Pam
He
Anderson.
wasn't even in shape at all. He had like a barrel body like in the 60s, but this was the 90s, and he was still like the main guy. Even though post Arnold, post Stallone bodies happened, and he was still just like, I'm just a schlubby guy with a hairy chest, and I'm the boss. Like I honestly don't remember anything other than it had blonde women with big titties, but I don't think I ever watched a full episode to even know what it was about, other than these people are rescuing people, I guess, in the
Did you
ocean.
see the rebooted film with The Rock?
No,
Yeah, me
why?
either. I'm never gonna watch
Why?
that.
Why would you?
I'm good.
You
I don't
you know
like
what I
anything
used?
Baywatch.
You know what I used to watch that was Baywatch related? Son of the Beach. Do you ever watch that?
Yes, yes, and we talked about this. I think when around the time you first came on as co-host,
Yeah.
we briefly talked about Son of the Beach, and I would check that out every so often. That was, I think, the first or one of the first original FX shows. That The Shield, that was all during the early aughts, and that seemed like a fine show, a fine comedy show.
Yeah, it was, comedy of the 2000s where you can get away with a lot of things that you can't get away with. And it was just very offensive. Uh, but yeah, I never had any interest in watching any Baywatch or any dramatic things, really. Like at the time I was really into Seinfeld. I was really into like just goofy shit like that I can think of right now. What's the is it Step by Step where that had Cody in the van?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that
I remember
was
that
that's
shit.
from the '90s. I mean, so you were okay. So this actually does sync up though with Costa Rican television or whatever,
Mhm.
getting everything 10 years behind. So it makes sense that after all that ends, you then get the syndicated version of that and get
Yeah.
into it. What I was
Well,
watching during that time was a lot of Comedy Central, and that was '90s SNL, Kids in the Hall, that type of thing that was constantly playing on Comedy Central in the summertime and in the daytime. And then at night, I guess I would get into like whatever was on Adult Swim or I don't know. I mean sometimes you would get stuck watching sitcoms with your parents or something. So King of Queens or Cosby or Becker. Not Becker. I watched Becker on my own. Or Everybody Loves Raymond. All these shows you kind of wind up going back to as you get old, or at least I did.
yeah, well, we didn't get cable here until like I want to say the year maybe 2000. Uh, so a lot of the syndicated programs that we wouldn't get before, like I would watch Third Rock from the Sun, uh, Seinfeld, Friends, Wings. Do you remember Wings?
Yeah. I never watched
Cheers.
Wings. I would check out Wings when it was. They like to throw episodes of Wings on at 3:30 in the morning on
Yeah,
basic cable if you're up.
yeah. So shit like that, just like comedies from that time. I'm looking at the list of other shows, but it was mostly, at least the ones that I can remember. King of Queens, definitely. Everybody Loves Raymond. But I don't know. At that point in my life, I was not really into anything that wasn't just funny and silly. Oh, Home Improvement was another big one. Uh,
They kicked Tim Allen to the curb for Chris Evans. Did you see that? For
What?
that Lightyear movie. They're doing it's the real Buzz Lightyear because they have nowhere
Uh,
else to go at this point. Eventually, we'll get the real Woody. It'll be somebody. It'll probably just be Tom Hanks again. But
all
I
right.
don't care
Tim
about any
Allen
of
was the
that.
voice of that, right?
But Tim Allen's also a Republican. That's
Right.
not in their business anymore. So, when did you discover Battle Royale in the midst of all those sitcoms and Son of the Beach?
When I moved to Canada, I had a roommate that loved Japanese monster movies, and he recommended that one once, just for me to watch it. And I watched. It was like 2000. I want to say 2006, maybe. And from then on, I've seen it like 3 times. I haven't really seen it that many times, but we would have a Monster Tuesdays where his friends would come over and we just watch Japanese monster movies and
This
with
is the
like
worst thing you've
alcohol
ever
and-
revealed on the show, by the way. Dude, you were talking about beating up homeless people, but Monster Tuesdays with friends. When you're a grown man at that point, you're in your 20s, I think, in 2006.
I mean,
aren't you?
I was out of the third world into the first world, just being like, I guess this is what white people do. I don't know. It's like, I guess, getting together with friends and drinking while watching whatever Gamora movie from the 60s or whatever. That's cool. And that introduced me to a lot of like Godzilla shit that I still like. So fuck you. Don't shame me.
I will say
Just 'cause-
that's embarrassing. That's humiliating. Monster Tuesdays. Mark it on the calendar.
Well,
Somebody
listen,
has
we
to
would
gather from-
also
Who's bringing
we would
the
also-
nachos, the bag of Pringles for Monster Tuesdays?
we would also watch Rob Schneider comedies. So I don't know,
Sure.
pick one or the other. Pick the Hot Chick or Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla.
Anyway, so you discovered it that way. I assume on like a DVD or something along those
Yeah, yeah.
lines.
Yeah, he
I
was a collector too. He used to lie to the government because he had a cash job, and then he would get government assistance, and then he would get paid under the table. So he would just spend his money on like Dungeons and Dragon figurines.
nice.
It's very cool. It's a very very cool guy.
That's
Shout
cool.
out
It all
Shane.
all went back to Hasbro and company. So I forget how I discovered Battle Royale. I want to say this was the first Asian foreign film that I watched that wasn't like a Godzilla movie or something along those lines. Something ridiculous. And I think I found it on. Oh, here's what happened. I realized that you could actually purchase things from Amazon.co.uk. And so I got hung up on the idea of getting some movies that you could not get in America. And during this time, I am fairly certain Battle Royale was one of them that did not have a DVD release or anything in the US at that time. So I got myself a region free DVD player. And the first thing I bought from Amazon.co.uk was a bunch of like best of seasons of Big Brother UK. 'Cause I
Okay.
want to get a vibe of that, what was going on over there in 2000, 2001. 'Cause
Was it terrible? Because I cannot imagine it being not very entertaining.
Well, I didn't mind the first two seasons because the characters were interesting, but here's the thing. UK Big Brother, and this is strictly for the people who tuned into that Survivor episode and knew what we were talking about, I guess.
Yeah.
Big Brother US and Big Brother UK are very different games. They're very different shows. So the Big Brother UK is a lot like the real world, and Big Brother US is more like Survivor. So Big Brother US, you scheme, you cheat, you lie, you do whatever it takes to get to the end because the only people that are voting are in the house. And so you
Right.
can win the show by completely being a villain and manipulating everyone. On Big Brother UK, the people deciding who gets the boot each week and who wins the show are the viewing audience, and they don't
Okay.
like schemers, they don't like manipulators, they don't like people who try to control their own destiny or get snarky or are interesting characters. They like the nice person.
So is everyone just polite with each other? Just
No, this
No?
is what's interesting, I guess, about the UK during that time, and it would last for a while with the UK. The people they cast just don't give a shit. They don't care about that. They try not to think about that, which I kind of appreciate. And eventually, at a certain point, I think the UK audience would start picking more interesting winners But it's always been a problem with that series is boring people getting to the end, winning the show over the more interesting villainous character. So I would check those out, and it just seemed like a bunch of middle-aged people partying for 3 months. And I was kind of like, this is cool as a time capsule for 2000, 2001 of people in the UK. Like there was a dude named Bubble who's just horrendous, ugly as fuck. Big old potato nose, wore a bowler cap and a bowler
British.
shirt. Yeah, of course. And
Typical British man, yeah.
yeah, and he was very entertaining. And anyway, this is completely unrelated.
Well,
The first
listen,
film,
my only exposure to Big Brother was when it came to Mexico. And the whole selling
right?
point was like, hey, if you watch this, they might show their tits because it's
Mhm.
24/7. Guess who never showed their tits? Every woman in that show. So it was just like, I guess people will tune in. I think they would have to pay a subscription to watch it was like a subscription service to watch the 24-hour
Yes,
feed.
that's
And
right.
then otherwise you would just watch the hour, I guess, I don't know, the, that they
There's
would
an
do
hour
at night.
summary broadcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
summary. Yeah, that's the word I couldn't think of. But they never showed anything, so it's just like, oh, I, who cares? Like, it's just celebrities that I don't know, because a place like Mexico, and they do that here too. It's really funny because they sometimes just get I guess they just steal ideas from I guess Europe, which is what the United States does with reality shows all the time. So we have kind of like an America's Got Talent that they tried to do, but it didn't really work because there's not a lot of talented people here. And also the celebrities they use is just people that are on TV here, which is like, who gives a fuck, you know? So
yeah.
it's a lot of like rubes watching that shit on Sunday. It's just all people voting, and then but it's just celebrities that nobody fucking knows. It's just someone with a recognizable enough name here, but it's just very sad. They get soccer players because soccer is huge here. So then you just have like
Yeah,
a soccer
the only
player
real
that
celebrities probably.
he dances now even though he's 50 and out of shape. So he's a dancer
Yeah,
for the
because he
new
did probably
season.
Dancing with the Stars the year before. He's gonna
Yeah,
keep himself in work.
yeah,
That's a thing worldwide, but they nixed it in the UK first with the celebrity edition because celebrities don't want to be watched 24/7. They would get bigger names by agreeing to those demands, and then they eventually did that for just like the regular show. They still do live feeds in the US, and they never show if people are having sex. They won't show it. They'll show like socks on the floor, and
right.
you might hear like people get very discreet about it. They hide under the covers. People are jacking off and doing all sorts. They're hip to the cameras now, so they
Yeah,
know how to get around it.
it's not like Big Brother Bulgaria or some shit where they just don't give a fuck.
Right?
Just
No,
like
hold on. That's a thing too. Is in these because there's every country has a Big Brother essentially.
Mhm.
If you watch Big Brother Brazil, that's full of sex and tits and breath. It's
Well,
just
yeah.
everything you could ever imagine. What they try to sell you on with the U.S., the U.K., Mexico, whatever it might be. Go just watch Big Brother Brazil. You'll find it.
Yeah, just godless women with fake asses trying to
Did
get
I
some
bring
dick.
this
And
up before? But they did Big Brother Africa season 2. The first Big Brother
what?
Africa, I
Wait,
think,
wait,
was
wait, hold
in
on. Big Brother Africa? They didn't even go
yes.
to a specific country. That's kind of
No,
not okay.
they grabbed people from different countries and threw them in the house. And there was a first Big Brother Africa, which was around 2001, 2002, and then Big
Oh
Brother
wow.
Africa 2. I tuned into, and you would have to do like Mega Link or Mega Upload. Do you remember that? Where you'd
Okay.
have to
Yeah.
download multiple files,
Hell yeah,
unzip it.
dude. Yep.
Yeah. So I did that for episodes, and their episodes were like 90 minutes long. And the winner, something happened in the house in Big Brother Africa where a woman got intoxicated, and a guy was like, I'll bring you to your bed.
Oh
And he brought
no.
her to the bed, but then he also fingered her while she was asleep.
Mhm.
And this was a worldwide controversy. Now, Africa, the continent of Africa, has different rules about this sort of thing. Nothing happened.
Of course not.
Fast
Yeah.
forward to the end. Who are the final two? That guy and that girl. And who wins?
Like I was
You
Sticky
know who
Finger.
wins. You know exactly who won the show. Only in Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Um, anyway,
I love that because whenever people try to apply American sensibilities to the rest of the world, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't really go by those rules, so fuck you. Like whatever you
yeah,
think is gonna happen, your outrage does not matter at all. There's people starving outside of the studio, and you're complaining about someone getting fingered.
it's I mean, this was before cancel. This was 2006 or so, and I remember it being a big scandal. But nobody gave a shit in Africa. They proceeded like normal. It was totally fine. He won the show. That was it. So this, what rhymes? What rhymes with Africa? Battle Royale. So one of the first films that I purchased with my region-free DVD player and my access to Amazon.co.uk was the Tartan Extreme Battle Royale release, which had a cool silver cover and everything. And it turned out I didn't even need the region-free Blu-ray DVD player, excuse me, because it was region-free, so anybody could get it. And I watched it, and I was wowed by it. It was one of these movies that I found myself frequently looking up information about or looking at pictures of, along with Dawn of the Dead. And, there were plenty of films that were very hard to find a physical copy of. And I would just go through long periods of research about these movies.
Was
And
this
this,
your introduction to like Japanese
oh
movies?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, Big Brother Africa, the last season was in 2014. In case you wanna check that
Oh,
out.
so they did a couple more after that. Good
Yeah,
for them, I guess.
9 seasons.
9 seasons. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess maybe were they knocking them out 2 a year? 9 seasons.
No,
Anyway,
11, 12. Yeah, I think it was once a year. Yeah. Anyway,
so
was that your
it,
intro to Japanese cinema? Yeah.
it was my intro to Asian cinema because the next movie I wound up picking up was Old Boy, and I was equally impressed by Old Boy, and I consider these two movies at least in my top three or top four favorite films I had ever watched, and that was pretty huge in terms of broadening my taste for film,
Right.
especially at such a young age. So, Battle Royale, I've watched this film dozens of times at this point. I have a special collect. I thought I had it on my desk here. I wanted to show it off, but Arrow, which is a boutique distributor and one of the most prominent ones right now, back in about 2010, 2011, released a very thick box set. And this was something I also got on Amazon.co.uk because this was region free. And it had the theatrical cut, the director's cut, and some
Is it this one?
documentaries. No, here's the thing.
Oh,
I spent a hundred. It's right next to it, literally right next to it. This,
this
yes,
one? Okay.
yes. How much is that going for now? Probably $30. I spent 170 on the fucking thing. No, not the steelbook,
It's
not the
okay.
steelbook. That greenish one.
This
Yes, it is
uh UK
gigantic.
version, 22 pounds.
Um, well that's a Blu-ray. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That God fucking damn. It's the size of a DVD box set. I spent 170 on this goddamn thing.
Oof. Wait, hold on. Just to make it more humiliated. Let's see. British. Oh, wait. How do you search for
Central
the
African. No, you went past the South
pound?
African.
Pound sterling. Okay, so
Let's
22.
see.
So it's $30. Now you can sell it for $30. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh? I could get half a Brown Bunny Blu-ray with that.
Well,
That
it's
could be
like
good.
when I was living in England, I got my PlayStation 4. Hideo Kojima with Guillermo del Toro put out this demo for a Silent Hills game, right? It's called PT, and you can't download it anymore. And I was like, I have it on the PlayStation. This shit is gonna go up in price because you can't get it anymore.
Mhm.
No, you can get it for like $300, and it's been like 10 years. It's just like, oh, fucking for no reason, I have
Of
that shit
course.
on my PlayStation. Yeah, so I
It was
feel you.
really disappointing when when they announced they were doing the same exact set with all the special features for 4K Blu-ray, and not even priced at 100. It was priced at, I just saw it on your Amazon for $30 too, and back when it was first announced, that was, I think, $80 or $90. I was considering biting the bullet on that because I enjoy the movie, and I also wanted to see Battle Royale 2 in HD, which I have not seen before.
Well, that's the first one I showed, right? The white one. It says HDR. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to be talking about this film tonight, this Battle Royale, and we have not yet, and I think we're nearing like the 1 hour mark of talking, and I don't think we have discussed a single detail of this movie aside from you thinking some of the teenage aspects were corny.
Yeah. It's definitely ruthless. I think it's funny that they gave him a lid as his weapon. That's pretty cool. Just like a
Yes.
pan lid. Uh, and
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's pause this right now
okay.
for the sake of cleanliness and simple editing. Let's cut this right here. This is going to be the bonus show, and we're going to actually
Okay.
talk about the movie starting
All right.
like right in a second. So, all right, that's been movies. This is the pre-show to the Battle Royale show. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So we got one episode down. That's good. All right, thank you for listening.